what he believed, what he thought, all these things. And he didn't just sort of ease out of that. I think all four of those guys just did what they loved.
It is with overwhelming sadness that we share the heartbreaking news that Todd Daniel Snider, the fearless storyteller, folk rock rebel, and one of the most influential singer-songwriters of his generation, has passed away. Snider died on November 14th, 2025, leaving behind a legacy carved in truth, humor, heartbreak, and the raw edges of American songwriting. His sudden passing has devastated fans across the world, as well as countless musicians who built their craft around his wit, honesty, and fearless approach to music. A voice that once filled smoky bars, crowded theaters, and open-air festivals has now fallen silent. Yet his words, his humor, and his stories remain immortal. Today, we honor him. The man who lived in songs, Todd Daniel Snider, was born on October 11, 1966, in Portland, Oregon. A restless, curious, and artistic child, Snider spent much of his youth in San Marcos, Texas, where he discovered the world of music that would eventually guide his life's direction. In Austin, a city overflowing with creativity, he found his artistic home. It was there that he experienced a life-changing moment, a Jerry Jeff Walker concert at Gruene Hall. The moment Walker stepped on stage, Todd realized something deep within himself. "I just realized that I wanted to do what he was doing." Walker became his mentor, inspiration, and the figure who shaped Todd's musical destiny. Snider's entire life would be defined by this raw, unfiltered desire to tell the truth, even when it hurt. As a young performer, Todd became a regular presence at the Lone Star Cafe and later met Keith Sykes, the Memphis songwriter who helped Snider record his breakout album. His iconic debut studio album, Songs for the Daily Planet, was released in 1994 and marked the arrival of a rare kind of songwriter, one who mixed humor, political honesty, lyrical finesse, and a folk-punk spirit that was entirely his own. The album included the surprise radio hit, Talkin' Seattle Grunge Rock Blues, a witty, comedic look at the music industry that pushed Snider into mainstream attention. Soon after, his follow-up album, Step Right Up, dropped, featuring the fan-favorite Trouble, earning him television appearances and national acclaim. In the year 2000, Snider released Happy to Be Here, featuring the tongue-in-cheek hit, All Right Guy, which would become one of his signature songs. Snider's work throughout the 2000s and early 2000s solidified him as one of America's greatest living songwriters. His 2004 album East Nashville Skyline became a career-defining release, filled with sharp humor, political insight, and heartbreak. Songs like Play a Train Song and Beer Run became classics of the Americana scene. In the following years, Snider released The Devil You Know in 2006, Peace Queer in 2008, The Excitement Plan in 2009, and Agnostic Hymns and Stoner Fables in 2012. His music carried an energy that only the greats ever master. A blend of rebellion, comedy, tragedy, and brutal honesty. Todd never lied in a song. He didn't know how. Todd Snider lived exactly the way he sang, fearlessly, messily, and truthfully. He battled addiction, depression, and inner chaos throughout his life, often turning his darkest moments into his greatest art. Todd's humor was the shield he used to survive. His music was the confession booth where he told the world everything. Fans loved him for that honesty, the way he could make you laugh one moment and break your heart the next. He was also deeply beloved among musicians, known as a songwriter's songwriter. Big names admired him. Legends admired him. Even his heroes admired him. Todd Snider was one of a kind. According to a post on Todd Snider's official social media accounts, the Americana artist began having difficulty breathing after returning home last week. Doctors admitted him to a hospital in Hendersonville, Tennessee, where they determined that Snider was quietly suffering from an undiagnosed case of walking pneumonia. He was later transferred to another facility for additional treatment after his health condition became more complicated. Todd Daniel Snider passed away on November 14, 2025, leaving fans and fellow musicians alike in mourning. Snider was married once and had close friends who served as his found family. His relationships were complex, emotional, and deeply meaningful, many of which inspired some of his most powerful songs. Even in his struggles, he believed in people, in stories, and in the idea that life was meant to be lived raw and uncut. Those who loved him now carry the heavy burden of his loss. At the time of his passing in 2025, Todd Snider's estimated net worth is believed to have been between $1 and $2 million, largely built through album sales, touring, collaborations, songwriting royalties, and independent releases. Snider cared far more about the art than the industry, but his work still created a legacy of value and impact. Todd Daniel Snider will forever be remembered as a bold voice in American folk, a fearless comedian in song form, a spiritual descendant of Woody Guthrie, a rebel who never backed down, a poet who could turn tragedy into beauty, and a performer who made every crowd feel like family. He mentored younger musicians, championed outsiders, and inspired generations of storytellers. Todd Snider didn't just write songs, he lived inside them. And now those songs belong to the world. Tonight, somewhere in the distance, there's an empty bar stool, a lonely spotlight, and a microphone waiting for a voice that will never come back. But Todd Snider's legacy remains in every person who ever laughed at one of his lines, every fan who ever cried to one of his truths, and every musician who ever tried to write a song as fearlessly as he lived. Your stories stay with us, Todd. Your humor stays with us. Your heart stays with us. Your music stays forever. Rest easy, legend. The troubadour has gone home. Top facts about Todd Snider. Born October 11, 1966 in Portland, Oregon, inspired to write music after a life-changing Jerry Jeff Walker concert in Texas. Broke out with his debut album, Songs for the Daily Planet, in 1994. Known for witty storytelling, sharp humor, and folk rock satire, released more than a dozen influential albums across multiple decades. One of the defining voices of Americana music, blending folk, rock, blues, alt-country, and funk, collaborated with legends like John Prine, Jason Isbell, and Loretta Lynn. His songs were widely covered and appeared in films and television. He also wrote a memoir showcasing his storytelling beyond music, loved by critics, musicians, and fans worldwide for his honesty, humor, and heartfelt lyrics. Passed away November 14, 2025, from complications of walking pneumonia, leaving a lasting legacy in American music.